Eric Backer, naturopath. Thanks for coming back. I got a question here from a lady, a subscriber to my channel, of course, and her name is Marjorie Eskine, and she's from Vancouver, one of my favourite places. I love Vancouver. I want to go back to Vancouver Island, actually. It's awesome. Now, Marjorie, why am I always hungry? I'm hungry all the time. Why can't I stop eating food? Well, I've written down a few points here I'm going to discuss with you. And this will be quite a good video for anybody, really, who's concerned about how much food they're eating and worried particularly about their weight, thinking their weight's associated with an upregulated appetite and how you can curb that appetite, you know, and just be someone who just eats at certain times of the day and doesn't always think about food or want food or things like that, right? So remember, there are lots of control mechanisms that are associated with appetite, particularly the hormones leptin and ghrelin, which we'll talk about a bit later. So that's something that you want to think about too. It may not be you. It could be, you know, things inside you, mechanisms that aren't working properly, stimulating this appetite. So one of the key things I see with many patients who carry weight is they don't eat enough protein, right? So protein really, it's probably been drummed into you with many YouTube videos now and many channels, you know, many articles that you've read and many doctors that you've seen that you need to eat protein. But when I say eat protein, I'm not really talking about a carnivore diet where you're going to have steak 3 times a day. That's not really a healthy approach. But have a balanced approach, all right? Protein doesn't have to be a slab of meat. Protein can be lentils. Protein can be many different food sources, can be some nuts, you know. So proteins are in many things. Many people choose to seek animal-based proteins and other people don't choose to do that. But certainly eating protein at different times of the day and regularly can make a big difference. Protein has a slower burn, okay, breaks down more slowly, certainly than carbohydrates. Protein makes you feel good, and there are many mechanisms on why it will do this. Protein is also very important because of its ability to stimulate the muscles. So, and when you exercise and eat protein, particularly when you get to 60 like me, you want to have good muscle tissue and not a lot of fat tissue. And protein will enable you to power you up, develop, you know, some good muscle tissue rather than fat. The big one I find with a lot of people is eating too many carbs, okay? So many people eat too many refined carbs. Breads, donuts, you know, Cheerios, muesli bars, you know, even protein drinks with high sugar content. So the more you stay away from these kinds of foods, the less you're going to want to keep getting repeated hits of these foods. Let me give you an example. I like giving examples to people, sort of common sense examples. So we burn fires here in New Zealand in wintertime, and I'm sure if you're in Canada, you would understand that principle. But if I got a piece of pine, really light pine, and threw that on the fire, how long would it take for that pine to burn? Like that, it's up, gone in no time. So it'll produce a bit of heat, then it's gone, okay? So that's the refined carbohydrate. That's the donut, or that's the cookie, or the piece of bread. You get a bit of energy, but then you drop back again. But what happens in this case, your blood sugar goes up, i.e. the heat goes up, okay? The energy goes up a wee bit, or the anxiety goes up. But then it comes down again quite fast, okay? Because the response is only very brief. Insulin will quickly be produced to act on the blood sugar, but also it's a very quick burn. So then often you'll come down really fast, and that could change your mood or make you a bit hungry again within a few hours, and then you'll want another hit and then another hit. So people who eat bread, for example, slices of bread, you know, peanut butter and jelly or whatever, they can go from one sandwich to another 3 or 4 times a day, right? So they're never really eating much of sustenance. All they're doing is putting a little bit of wood on the fire and get a quick burn. However, if you've got a piece of hardwood, okay, like ash or solid, ash is one of the most densest timbers you can get. And here in New Zealand, we burn timbers. You've heard of manuka, honey. There's also carnuka. So carnuka is a tree, a small tree. Now carnuka is one of the densest firewoods in New Zealand. When I put a piece of carnuka into the fire and shut the fire down, that will burn all night, okay? That's like you having a small piece of meat with a bit of fat on it, okay? Or a meal with some fat and protein. It's a slow burn, so it's going to drip feed those breakdown products of digestion to you and give you a nice, even energy curve. You're not going to get a strong insulin response. So you're going to feel a lot better in the long term by eating more substantial solid meals than having these quick bits of wood in the fire all the time. So be careful with the refined carbohydrates. I don't tend to eat any refined carbohydrates at all. I would just stick with vegetables, fruits, and meats, and Brazil nuts and almonds and the usual stuff that I eat. So my energy never varies throughout the day. I'm always burning the same kind of firewood constantly. Even when I go out, I try and select the right kind of wood. I don't, go for the quick burn. So take my advice. Look for heavier firewood if you get my drift. Always look. Now the thing is, you're going to be paying more for the heavier, denser wood than you are for the lighter stuff. All right? But because you'll be eating more quality and less of it, and your health improves, it's a moot point. Stick with the better quality food. That way you're not going to be prone to getting overweight, diabetes, and heart disease, and all of the stuff that people my age just don't want to get. Right? 20-year-olds don't usually get heart attacks and diabetes. 60-year-olds like me do. I've had several friends, seriously sick and even pass away in the last several years, all because of diet coke, seriously obese, and with close friends, I don't really talk about diet and nutrition. It's not my thing to do that. I'm not the fun police. I love these guys, and I get really sad when I see a close friend pass away on something that was avoidable. So don't fall into that category, okay? You might not be my close friend, but I don't want you dying of something that you could have prevented because you couldn't control this, all right? Poor sleep cycles. So people who don't sleep well, get interrupted sleep, often have issues with 2 hormones, in fact 3 hormones, cortisol. Cortisol is produced by the adrenals, and that can, sometimes if you've got an adrenal low in the afternoon, you can have adrenal high in the morning between 2 and 4. It's not uncommon, and that can wake you up, and that can stimulate your appetite. Have you ever been in bed and you lie there and you think, I want to get up and eat something, I'm really hungry, That can often be a sign of an elevated cortisol response. In that situation, I would ask you, well, what were you like the day before? From lunchtime to 6 p.m. Were you stressed? Were you tired? Did you want to lie down? Did you have a high or low? Did something happen? And often you'll find there will be some type of emotional event that occurred 1 or 2 days prior. Now that could be ongoing with you and create lots of disrupted sleep cycles. Talk to someone who's very overweight, and they'll often say they've got very crappy sleep. Most obese people don't sleep well at all. People with me with normal body weight and with a good cortisol response don't generally ever have a problem sleeping. They go to bed, I'm usually in bed by 9:30, 10, and then bonk, within about 10 minutes I'm asleep. I don't wake up till 6:30 a.m. That's how it should be. That's what a healthy person has, okay? So if you're waking up repeatedly at night over a long period of time, this can really affect 2 hormones, ghrelin and leptin. Now ghrelin is the appetite stimulating hormone, and leptin is the fullness hormone. Now these get messed up with sleep. So sometimes it's hard to work out, how full you are. You can overeat when these hormones get right out of kilter. So always create a good sleep cycle. Look at some of my videos on this channel on sleep. You need to cultivate sleep like you need to cultivate anything in your life if you want to, really get a good outcome. Not enough fat. Many people are scared still of the word F-A-T, okay? They still see it as a 3-letter word. Well, we know now that fat's not actually bad, right? So depending on the kind of fat you eat, medium chain triglycerides, for example, in coconut products are really nice, and they're going to give you a nice, slow, even burn. Satiety is very well controlled with small amounts of fats in your diet. I like olive oil, I like sesame oil. I'm going to talk about a lot of these oils with the new kitchen that's being built right now. I'm excited. You can see some of my cookbooks over here. I should give you a bit of a shot over there. So this is just a few boxes on some of my cookbooks. Yeah, well, as you know, I'm a bit of a book freak. So I've got about 400 cookbooks. Now, some of these cookbooks I've collected since I was about 18, 19. I've got some really nice cookbooks going right back, some classics. And it's interesting when you have a look at different cultures and their takes on proteins, fats, and oils. Always look for natural sources of fat if you can. Plant-based fats like avocado, or salmon. If you can get raw salmon, even better. Sardines like fish fats, fish oils. These are the things I like to have in my diet. Coconut, but again, look at some of my diet and nutrition videos where I outline this in detail, right? Not enough water. How many people are drinking water? Still not everybody. Many people still don't drink water. And please be careful in summertime, to really keep well hydrated. Even in winter, it's important to drink. Water definitely gives you a sensation of fullness. So the trick. If you sometimes you think, I want to eat something, but I don't really want to eat something, have 1 or 2 glasses of water. People who drink water like that can reduce their calorie load by 600 calories or more per day just from drinking water, studies have shown. So definitely become hydrated. If you don't like water and you think, it's bland, just squeeze a little bit of lemon juice or lime juice in it. It's quite nice. All right. What's the next point we're going to talk about? Not enough fiber. That's the other key thing. Many people now are scared of fiber. In fact, fiber is taken out of diets of a lot of people with bowel problems by their doctor. Bad move, right? Many people are scared of fiber now because they think that increases candida or dysbiosis. Bad move. Look again at some of my videos on fiber. Plant-based, fibers are very, very good to eat. There are many foods high in fiber. Vegetables contain lots of fiber, and they make you feel full, especially if you eat something like Tracy and I do. Nice bok choy, a small bok choy that we grow, we'll cut that, wash it, and then I'll very gently stir fry that, just lightly, usually with onions and garlic and, maybe some carrots or other vegetables in there. And we have that nearly every day for lunch for like 30 odd years. We eat like that. Now, the vegetables in this situation are very lightly cooked. Very lightly cooked. It's the best way of cooking. In fact, I'll grab this book quickly here. One of my favorite, when I grew up, I was a young guy, one of my favorite books to look at was a guy called Ken Hom. Is Ken Hom? Look at that, $1. I only got $1 garage sale, isn't it a beauty? So Ken Hom, I think he may have passed away, might be quite elderly now. Ken Hom's a chef, Asian chef, and I've really started to understand what cooking with this guy here about the heat, the quick heat, the searing, on how to make something taste fantastic and cook it quick, but yet don't nuke it, don't destroy it, don't embalm it, okay? The fiber contact stays there, the flavor stays there, you seal everything in quickly. It tastes fantastic, so I'll show you these sort of things coming up. So fiber is a key component because it creates fullness, right? So if I give my wife and I a small plate with some vegetables like that, maybe a piece of fish for lunch, as opposed to 3 sandwiches with peanut butter and jelly, is a big difference, right? You can see that satiety is going to be different, protein content's different, okay? And the sensation of fullness is going to last so much longer on the vegetable and protein dish than on the couple of pieces of bread, right? Distractions is another one. Many people are distracted today, right? They're hungry because they're looking at their mobile phone. My 25-year-old daughter drives me crazy because she's always got this iPhone up to her face and texting people and Instagram. And even if she's eating, she's sitting there eating, she's got the phone like that and she's eating. She's not even looking at her food, right? Distractions. We've talked about this. Come on, guys, listen to me. You can't drive a car while you're texting. How many people are driving their car, okay, while they're talking to someone on their phone, pushing buttons and stuff like that? You can't do it. You need concentration. Eating is no different. You need to concentrate on your food and you need to relax. You can't relax, okay, when you've just read or just watched some guy being beheaded by ISIS. How can you be relaxing when you're watching that on your iPhone, My daughter doesn't do that, by the way. Now, stress is one of the biggest ones. It's a topic that I could spend a lot of time talking about because I see it so much in my patients. Stress has got the ability to really affect you in several ways hormonally and boost appetite right up, make you want to be hungry all the time. So you need to really work on that angle of stress. Look at the breathing exercises we've spoken about. This nice relaxed breathing to increase vagal tone. Okay, to stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system, to boost it up. I can guarantee you 1 or 2 nice, very slow, deep breaths and let it out, and you'll be so much better for it. You'll feel better, all right? If you regularly do this, you'll keep your cortisol levels more balanced and evenly. This is going to really help with your appetite. How could breathing help with the appetite? You try it and give me some feedback, right? If it doesn't work, I'll give you a refund. How's that? But you didn't buy anything. Anyway, that's a little bit my take, okay, on why am I hungry all the time. You don't have to be hungry all the time. You can get that controlled like anything else in your life. You can control it. Once you tame that hunger beast and control it, and you're in charge of that, you watch the weight come off. All right, you watch the weight come off. Particularly if you really focus on quality protein, good fats. All right, every now and then you can cut loose. If I'm at a friend's place and I have a couple of beers or a wine and there's a piece of some crap there, I'll eat it. But it's not common I would do that. But I really enjoy it when I do. And my friends know that too. All right? Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to click on the link. There's a nice paper for you all about weight loss. Check out the report. Thanks for tuning in.